It's a wonderful morning coming to you from QTV. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thanks for joining us. And wherever you're watching us from, well, a cup of coffee, to you. And on the platform, I'm joined by Lena Igwe-Nyebe. Am I right?
Well, no, he had to say Nyebe. Why? Because he really said Igwe-Nyebe.
That's an oversight, Lena. I mean, that's why if I'm calling Lena, I just say Lena. I stop. You understand?
And he says the Lena nicely, but he just ruins it when he goes to
all right. It's difficult for me to pronounce it anyway.
I understand.
Yeah, so it's good to have you here, Lena.
Yeah, it feels good to be back again because we did it. I don't know since God will knows.
You've been running away from us.
Yes. It feels really good, yeah.
Absolutely. And on the platform, I have Momodu Lamin Choi here. He's going to review some of the stories making headlines. Momodu Lamin Choi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Balde, and it's a pleasure to be here again.
It's like I'm having two unusual guests today on the platform.
And he's my neighbor.
Oh, you are neighbors now.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right, so it's good to have you here. On the program, we will be looking at the African proverb. Then we will be doing the newspaper review, and which Momodu Lamin is here to help us go through some of the stories making headlines. Then we'll look into the graduation of 70 inmates and prison officers at the Mile 2 Central Prison. In collaboration with Inside Training Center, they conduct this training for inmates. So it's important for us to see how the rehabilitation is going. Prison is supposed to be a rehabilitation center. So for them to acquire skills, because some of them have spent years there. So it's important for them to get at least a skill. When they go out, they'll be very responsible. So we'll be talking to Luke Jata, Public Relations Officer, Gambia Prison Service. Then we'll be looking at the local conference of youth climate change. We will talk to Dauda Cham, an executive member. So they'll be here on the platform. But first, Lena, I would like you to take us through the African proverb.
Okay, so today's proverb is one bracelet does not twinkle. I think there is like a saying in Wolof as well for this one. Bena lamdu. Exactly, something like that.
Bena lamdu keseng keseng.
Exactly.
Wow.
So one bracelet does not twinkle. And for me, what do you think, Balde, about the proverb?
Well, first let's engage Momodu Lamin Choi. I mean, Choi, please, what's your understanding when it comes to this proverb?
Thank you very much, Mr. Balde. I think what the proverb is talking about is a united effort makes something significant, something progressive. Because an individual, one person alone, does not have much significance in moving something forward. Okay, so one bracelet does not jingle, even in our local language. Wolof, we have it, but the interpretation is trying to emphasize the importance of unity, a united front, in whatever effort we're engaged in, if we want the outcome to be significant.
Well, I think it's talking about uniting. Combination of efforts, no man is an island. Well, we need each other to move as a country. Let's take a look at our setup here at QTV. People do different things.
Absolutely.
The editor, the presenter, the cleaner. So we need all this combination of efforts for us to be effective, to be productive. So I think this proverb is talking about that. Lena, what about you?
Well, I would also say like Ubuntu. We learned that in history of journalism. I am because you are. So everybody is significant because there is another person. Like they would say, oh, my name is Lena. Who is your mother or who is your father? So it is linked to where I'm coming from to give me that significance, basically. But just like what you guys are saying, we all need somebody, and it's just a form of unity.
True.
Yeah.
True. We all need somebody. Yeah. I mean, to be able to be productive at some point. Yeah. You understand? Well, I think we all agree on that one. So we'll take a short break. After the break, then the program continues. We'll be right back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
We're back, and this is QTV This Morning, if you're just tuning in. Well, now let's take a look at some of the stories on the Point newspaper. Senegal, Guinea ban overseas travels for ministers. And, you know, I mean, Mohamed Lamin Choi, at this point, I'll engage you. How important is this? I mean, to cut all travel costs for certain, you know, officers. I mean, we've also seen few months ago, the Gambia government embarked on that. No travel for certain public offices, maybe for a duration of time. I mean, what do you have to say about this?
I think it is important. Of course, foreign travels are important, no doubt about that. And the Gambia has partners in the international community. And there are a lot of engagements happening around the world. Sometimes Gambia is invited, or Senegal, in this case, is also invited to take part. But here, just to put it in a general perspective, given the decision also that our government took, which is similar to that one, I think COVID-19 has taught us a lot. You know, COVID-19 has proven that we don't need to travel to places to, you know, to meet up and discuss certain things. You know, the world is now digital. The world is now a global village. One may not need to travel to another country in order to sit down with officials and discuss foreign policy matters or things that will be important in our bilateral or multilateral relations with other countries. Of course, events like the United General Assembly, UN General Assembly, of course, that one can understand that, you know, the Gambia can send delegation or Senegal can send delegation, but the number of officials also who travel to, you know, to an event like that can also be looked at. So in general, what I'm trying to say here is we can travel if we must travel, because sometimes when you travel to another country, you visit, maybe, you know, you are invited by the president or you're going to meet your counterpart, a minister, sort of. Sometimes that physical presence also matters a lot.
Significant.
You know, the Gambia is sending someone going to meet another minister in another country. That shows a lot in diplomacy. It shows that, you know, you care about the person. That physical contact, you know, proves a lot more than what technology can do. And that is why my emphasis here is, of course, ministers can travel, but you can travel if you must. If you must travel, you have to travel. But you do not need to, you know, go with a lot of people, you know, in a delegation, sort of, because whatever is going to be done there, the hotel you're going to be lodged at, what, you know, wherever you're going to move, that is going to be funded at the expense of the taxpayers.
So I am not against maybe government officials traveling later. I mean, like Mohamed Lamin said, that physical contact is very significant when it comes to impacting whatever you want to go and portray out there. You know, but the thing is, at the end of the time, you that travel, how is it making the difference in our country, the economy? We expect if we spend $500,000 maybe on your travel, that will yield at least maybe, 1.5 or 3 million for the country.
I'm really glad that Neighbor made mention of must, like emphasis. So if the need, really, you must travel, yes, then, like you said, when that need comes up, you're able to bring back significant progress when you come back to this country. But then, like he said, we're also in the digital era where social media, Zoom is here. You can always have these meetings online. You can always talk online. And when the need really arises, then you can travel to go meet. And you don't have to go with a lot of delegation to just go and to just do one meeting or attend a particular forum. That really does not make sense.
Well, we've seen, places where circumstances where people use travel as an opportunity to carry people along. We have seen that previously. And, I think that stained our name as a country. We've seen where ambassadors have been, accused of corruption in certain countries. No need to mention the names. Previously, we've seen that, Mohamed Lamin Choi.
Yes, I think, it has happened. And this is a correction that our government has taken decision towards correcting. And we've also seen Senegal doing similar things. You go to other African countries, they're also implementing the same thing. In the Gambia here, of course, there are certain ministries, particularly the Foreign Affairs Ministry, given the relations Gambia has with so many countries. The minister is always traveling. But, one would not expect, because if you look at other foreign affairs ministers around the world, it's the same thing. The president does not need to be traveling, frequently, because there are events that the Gambia is invited, which are important. You have the opportunity to meet high-profile officials, to network, you understand, to exchange ideas. And sometimes you spend less than, 1,000, you spend thousands in a travel, but at the end of the day, what you bring back to the country are millions.
Yeah.
That's what we are talking about.
So it's all about how much are we gaining from this travel. You must assess what is the stake for us there.
Well, we get it.
What is the stake for us there? Must I travel in this case, or could we do it, virtual meeting and all of that?
Yeah, I was going through one of the videos of former President Yahya Jammeh when he was advising, his cabinet ministers at State House. He said to them, look, you cannot bring me a workshop or a conference, and you are paid a per diem like up to 30,000. He said, until and unless you want to have a trouble with me. Certain things, we use these things just to disguise as if we are doing it for the country, but at the end of the time, it's our own individual gains that we are looking for.
That is a problem, really. But like, if these travels are monitored, they're quite carefully looked into. When this travel is really going to bring the country significant progress, then we're like, okay, this is a must. We must go and see, because you're spending a little, but it's like how Neighbor said, triple is coming back to the Gambia, which is very important for the Gambian community. So it's very important if those travels are monitored. Networking is important, like what Neighbor mentioned again, it all goes back to him. It's important to build meaningful connections that can bring significant opportunities again to the country, and that is how really the travel should be.
True.
Only a must. I like that you used
must.
Yeah,
exactly. So now the government plan to conduct this ability survey 25 years after the last one.
25 years.
Yes. After
disability survey.
Yes, the last one. So what is this telling you? Is it ringing a bell or something, Mr. Choi?
Of course, it's better than not doing it. It's good that.
But 25 years,
yes,
it's a
gap
long
gap. Yes. It is a long gap, but it's better than not doing it. Also, it's a long time. I don't know, because there are certain surveys. For example, the population census usually would be done every 10 years. I'm not sure about this disability survey, but 25 years, it's a lot of time to have, to have not done this survey. But I have seen expressed commitment to addressing disability issues or problems in the country. We've seen, the Disability Act, which was passed into law. Of course, we have a very beautiful law that protects and promotes the rights of people with disability in the country. But also, that act needs to be operationalized because there are structures that need to be established. In fact, it was passed, I stand to be corrected, nearly 2 years ago or more than 2 years ago. Still, I have not seen much development in that regard towards the implementation of the law, because when it is implemented, both public and private sector will be obliged to, to put up measures that will help create that environment for people with disability to live a decent life, at workplaces and at home. I have not seen that, and that is why I emphasized, of course, given our development in terms of passing that Disability Act and government, proactively, taking part in that regard, there has been expressed must be emphasized here, expressed commitment. But whether that commitment has been turned into reality, we still are spending some more time to see what the results are.
Absolutely. Well, let's see what will happen. As far as now that political will is there, let's see the outcome. But Choi, we would like to engage you on the Roads and Belt project. We all know China is doing a lot in Africa,
Absolutely.
When it comes to connecting Africa to the world, which is very significant. I mean, for previous years, we've seen the significant infrastructure development. My people are beneficiaries. I mean, the URR, we've seen that structure, the bridge, we've seen the roads. So, I mean, I think we receive, like for me, I've received a first-hand information, and I've seen is believing. Let's talk about this. How significant is the Roads and Belt project for Africa?
Absolutely. It is highly significant, and I'm glad that you asked me this question, because I traveled to China and I've seen the development that country has. But China is a country that is rapidly growing, but the philosophy, the policy, China's foreign policy believes in common development and shared prosperity of mankind. So China does not only believe that it must develop its infrastructure and improve the lives and livelihoods of its people, but also it feels that it has that obligation, to contribute towards the development of countries, especially, its diplomatic partners. And for example, is what we have seen here in the Gambia. Road from Basse to Koina has been constructed, from Basse to Koina, 51 kilometer of roads worth more than $80 million has been constructed. And what's the emphasis here is that it was not done through loan. It was a grant aid from the, from the government of China through the Belt and Road Initiative. It's a joint initiative. China alone is not implementing it. It is implementing it with its development partners. For example, the roads and bridges that have been implemented in the country here was done through the partnership between the People's Republic of China's government and also the Gambia government. So this, of course, China's largest trading partner for more than 10 consecutive years is Africa. Last year, trade volume between China and Africa, went more than $200 billion. And we have seen every year that number keeps increasing. But it is prudent for China to implement the Belt and Road Initiative in Africa, to cooperate with African countries to implement it. Because if Africa is your market, if Africa is a partner for your country, when Africa develops, there is also another opportunity for China, because Balde, you and I, if we are partners, and what my focus is only how to exploit from you. At some point, you are enriching yourself,
and leaving me behind.
But I'm leaving you behind.
True.
Is that sustainable?
No, it's not.
I asked that question, whether it's sustainable.
Never.
So this is the philosophy, the policy that China has, and it has been implementing not only in Africa, but also across the world. And more than $3 trillion have been spent in this grand initiative, one of the largest infrastructure development projects that a country has ever implemented at that global level.
Well, Lena, at some point they accused China maybe of trying to buy these African countries. I mean, at the end of time, if you're not able to pay back your loan, China will come and seize maybe certain infrastructure, because we've seen whereby they accuse China of taking over airports, seaports of certain African countries. And in Kenya, I think, still, they are negotiating their loans, I mean, with China. So those things sometimes create a lot of mixed feeling.
Yeah, but like Neighbor said, he said it's a grant. This one is not a loan. So for that being the case, we are safe and we don't have to think of paying back China. So it's like more of a win-win situation. As it's like they're giving back to Africa and we don't really have to pay them back.
But are you so sure there is no point that Africa will pay back to China?
Gambia.
No, the thing is, in Gambia's case, it was not a loan. It was a grant, free. Gambia is not paying a dime. You've seen the International Conference Center, the Saudi Arabia Conference Center, one of the largest, and one of the most equipped conference centers that have been built in the sub-region here, and it's attracting, so many conferences. Is one of the top venues for international conferences in the sub-region. So the emphasis in this Belt and Road Initiative is a win-win cooperation. Of course, if your country wants to implement certain development projects, and maybe you have budget shortfall or you don't have enough financial resources to implement it, it is good to engage your diplomatic development partners in order to get a loan. But this Belt and Road Initiative is not a debt trap, as it has been reported widely by Western media everywhere.
But do you think it is mostly, like most cases, do you think it is a debt trap?
That is what I'm saying. It is not a debt trap. It's a joint initiative, aimed at win-win cooperation for common development.
It's a win-win cooperation.
Yes, win-win cooperation. If I sit, you and I, if China sits at that negotiation table with African countries, every country in foreign policy, in negotiation, national interest is supreme. Is the priority. China, of course, will promote. Let us be, frank
realistic
here. Or to be realistic, China will advance its national interest, but also African countries will also put forward their national interest. So it is a negotiation. It was not a case of China giving loans to African countries willy-nilly, but they sat and negotiated until there was an agreement. You understand? So the percentage of loans that have been given to African countries, when you compare it to what African countries are owing the other rest of the world, is far more significant than what African countries are owing China. I wish I foresaw this question. I would have brought you some very interesting statistics that will prove that what has been widely reported, that this Belt and Road Initiative is more of a debt trap, is just false assumption or allegations.
All right. I mean, let's see how it will go. We just have to be alive to see.
But due diligence. I always, even if we get the wrong deal, we must blame our leaders.
Yes.
If we get the wrong deal, Balde, we must blame our leaders.
Because they should be able to negotiate well.
Yes, we are sovereign republics.
They should
we are not
also
colonies
be able to push
anymore.
our interests.
We are not colonies anymore. You understand? They were voted into power to represent us, and in whatever negotiation that they are, signing, in fact, usually it goes to the National Assembly in this case. If the Gambia does not take any loan at that international level with another country or another, international organization without taking it to the National Assembly.
To the National Assembly.
So the executive will do due diligence, okay, before that is implemented, before any agreement is implemented, it goes to Parliament, and our National Assembly members will sit
and look into
and scrutinize it.
Exactly.
If it is a bad deal, and the National Assembly members are not doing it alone only, they also have, experts to guide them in the process. So why must we blame China when we have all these opportunities?
Well, I think China, they have their offer, and so everybody, our offer is this, but at the end of time, this is what is going to happen. This is this. So check it. If it favors you,
push
fine.
Your interests forward.
But I hope with the relation that China is having with African countries, it will be a win-win situation, as you mentioned.
That is the emphasis, win-win cooperation. But both sides must sit, promote due diligence, take their time to make sure that that win-win cooperation is achievable.
The African proverb mentioned it. We need each other to move.
Right.
Even if you are world superpower, at some point you need a particular thing, to move as a country.
And that is what President Xi Jinping said at the Belt and Road Initiative Forum, that China alone cannot develop. China, China's development is reliant on the development of the world, and that is why this Belt and Road Initiative has been implemented.
Thank you. And do you know he's lucky to see the Chinese
President Xi Jinping?
Some people have been born in China for many years, more than 30, 40 years.
Absolutely.
They've never set their eyes on the president.
I saw.
Sure, he's already
it's
part
lucky
of them.
to see the president of China.
It was a privileged, opportunity. I interacted with young Chinese and adults, some old ones, and I will tell them, Balde, I have seen President Xi Jinping. Tell me, wow. And they would tell me, you are highly privileged because they've never seen him before. Wow. Because this guy is always busy. This guy is always busy traveling across the country. And also, he hardly travels. You keep seeing the foreign minister of China going around and all of that. He's always busy to understand, the development realities of his country and the needs of his people so that, the development objectives will be realized. Visit China and you will see what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you very much, Momo Lamin Choi, for, that wonderful review with us. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, and you're always welcome.
Yes. So we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll talk to Rukjata, Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Prison Service. The graduation of inmates and prison officers conducted by Inside Training Center. We'll be back.
QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. Go, ebe dawa full network suda tili. QCell. Ni lafta diamla wati jamala mune diata. QCell. Most reliable network dumala keta wati. QCell. Wo quality man nyon soto jam pona manke QCell. Ani be wulo ni farole kono walante be bakono jala fayola network ko se taria. QCell suñu boss. Ñu fi njëkk indi 3G ñu dellu taxi 4G plus and now we bring you 5G. 5G. First and only 5G provider. It's a follow adi doron nesa keno. Gambia bela nyon tawa fele QCell. Ko fasunta buka busi QCell. It's a multi milka kukutol nati Gambia. QCell made a lori la kiliano yele imanyina amanda wala itele ka quality dila dadi ma itele silo wala wodol mume be keno ma. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. Connection be bambandi QCell sunyu boss. QCell most innovative QCell sunyu boss.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you
So we are back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. On the platform, I am with my colleague, Lena.
Thank you, Balde. We have Luke Jacha, PRO of the Gambia Prison Service, with us today to talk about the graduation of 70 prisoners and prison officers. Can you tell us more about that initiative, please?
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much for having me once again
welcome.
to come and then do the deliberation with regards to the graduation that took place at the Gambia Prison Service. As per mandate, the Constitution, it's sacrosanct that we develop those that are incarcerated because it's a key mandate. We said we reform, rehabilitate, and reintegration.
Absolutely.
So, for us to be able to concertatively give that energy to the people that are incarcerated, so that at the end of when they go back, I think it has to start from the prisons.
True.
You know, I just want to make preference. That was this founder project. We said he said it's a mind education. We call it mind education. And then he was also a prisoner. And through that, he was able to have that insight to say, you know what, let's think of something so that we're able to develop. And this was founder of this mind education. And he's a millionaire from Japan. So that shows that the prisons has the potential to transform. And through that, he said, through his initiative, when people go out, they are able to bring good ideas. And these good ideas is able to develop a lot of initiative in Japan. So coming back to Gambia again, we've seen a lot of people who were once incarcerated. Today they are prominent people in our society. Why so? Because there are programs, something doing that would help you to have skills. Now, coming back to the question that you asked, Inside Training Center has been partnered with Gambia Prison Service since 2012 till date. And then they are also able to their partners and also government will was also there, so that that open doors. So they will come and train young women who are incarcerated whilst serving their sentences. On the 19th of October, we saw this is the third cohort of inmates that have been trained. So far, since 2012 till date, Inside Training Center were able to train 278 inmates.
Wow.
217 inmates.
Wow.
Not only training, but give them training which is viable, efficient, and effective. It's not only coming training, but this training, it's also accredited by the national accreditation, which is NACA. So that shows that it's a serious training that's ongoing there. And then before you are certified, you know what it takes. You have to pass through rigorous examination and also training, so that you are certified to say you are worthy, so that when you go outside, the skills that they have acquired in prisons, it is transformed and it's seen different in our national development. So on that 19th of October 2020, 70 inmates graduated from Inside Training, which is third cohort, in different areas. Some of them are satellite installation and electrical installation, because these are men who have so much interest. Why? Because if you look at the changing needs of, even when it comes to our household needs, everybody wants to see something televised.
True.
Everybody wants to see there is power, because power today is a key component.
Absolutely.
Which is also a fundamental human right.
True, true.
Not only that, it's also not only that, but they're also helping even us as an administration when we have issues when it comes to satellite.
They sort it out.
They sort it out at no cost. So it's not only from them, even also as a department. And we also see some of them are information technology, which we are happy to say 2 of our officers were also certified.
Wow.
Who did the course with them and certified with them, because they have actually acquired, the benchmark.
True. Look, I would like to know, where do they conduct this training? Do you have something like a school at the prison service?
Yes, we have a training center there, and in this training center, it's also partners with MRC Holland Foundation, which we are able to renovate. It used to be a structure then. during the former regime, that was where the soldiers were using as their base.
Okay.
So when the new regime came, through inside training center, through their partners, MRC Holland, they're able to build, revamp it and then remold it so that, classes were there where inmates and officers will have the regular classes at different times.
Okay, so look, with regards to the inmates that were trained, are these people that have already almost served their term, or they still have time to spend there?
Yes, if you look at the figures, as at 19th of October, during the inauguration, 22 of them are still serving their sentence, while others have also they have already united by reintegrating into society.
Exactly.
The beauty about this, some of them who are there were able to seek employed by inside training. Not only employed, but they are also one of them serves at the managerial, imagine, and also two as
Still
supervisors.
serving?
Yes,
Still serving. Oh wow, that is amazing.
That's amazing.
Because I was thinking the training would only be for people who are ready to be reintegrated. They've already served their term.
Yes, and not that, because the ultimate purpose is for reintegration.
Yeah.
Because it's giving them something. Because imagine you be there 5 years, 7 years, 10 years under life, and then that high sentence, and then you do nothing. Well, what is the ultimate purpose of you? So that you have a meaningful life.
True.
Because 10 years while you have been incarcerated, and then coming out with nothing, well, that's another lose to national development.
True.
Imagine, not only that, but we have seen a lot of success stories. Some of them are into their own businesses. Some of them are doing very good. Some of them are also into post. I could remember in 2017. I just want to make precise 2017. Yes, if I'm correct. That when they had, that was the second graduation, when I was just newly on recruitment. After that a good number also graduated. Some of them were, employed by, different stakeholders, especially at the ports.
Oh.
And then, I was just, moving around, and then, I think when they alighted, and then, they asked me, how are you? I said, I'm fine. Recognizing me, of course. And then they said, did you recognize? I said, no. He said, we are those that pass out, and then about 5 or 4 of us are working here. I said, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So that means we have come to the core mandate of the prisons. In a sense, we say we have to rehab, because then the prison, of course, one of the key, role that we play is security. That's what we call retribution. Retribution is to punish you for the crime that you have done. Yes, in fact, it also brings serenity in society, and the environment is free from all kind of vices.
True.
But our key mandate is what? To reform those people. So
rehabilitate
when the new government came, he said, you know what? Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's align ourselves to the best practice when it comes to correctional practice.
So look, now who is there a form of payment or something? Are they paying? Are they charging inmates for that?
The interesting part that even a single body is not charged or attached. All that we say is just avail yourself. Have interest in what you do. And then, they give it out to you.
So who do you give the chance to do this? Because you might be selective, the type of inmates, or who to give certain things to do certain things.
Yes, at some point, one of the criteria we look at is one that is willing. You need to have that willing power. Yes, I wish to tell you, one thing about the prison setup, every day you have something doing. Every day you have something doing. Nobody is there just being there. So because why? It also helps in your development, psychological. Because it's traumatizing to tell you. It's traumatizing to be in the castle. Imagine you are a person like me who loves to move everywhere.
Yeah.
Someday you are just,
confined at one place.
Oh. So, at some point, that's why we have our, social workers who are there to, give them that social support and other programs that we have.
True.
So we make sure that those that are willing and those that are also trainable, because not everybody
is trainable.
But at some point in different areas, I believe everybody is trainable in your interest and what you want to do.
Exactly.
So we look at that. So those are some of the criteria, and then we give it a try and say, there you are. But the interesting part is, at some point they feel so reluctant. But as we go along, you see the personal interest. So that mold them to acquire the skills that they needed.
But with the initiative, look, do you guys have a sustainability plan when they're out and they've served their time? Do you guys provide loans for them to start up businesses? Because they don't have the cash really to start up businesses. So is there a sustainability plan set in place for these inmates?
Thank you, because this is one of the key, issues that needs to to be checked properly. And then how do we make sure that it's optimal and it's ongoing? Yeah, at some point, what as an institution, if you look at our mandate, our mandate is just within the prisons. So with outside the prison, what we do is we look for partners. Okay. I will just give an example. We could remember the prison fellowship. We used to have a prison fellowship which is still there, but not active because, you understand, at some point you need funding. So the prison fellowship, look at this, we said a house, we call it a houseware, where those that have trained in some of the areas and say, look at them because they are potential people. And then give them that opportunity so that they give them a grant sort of for a start. And then through that, we're able to, one of them was very good at tailoring. And you know what, we're able to procure, through the partnership with Principal, we're able to procure him tailoring machines to support him.
Wow.
And you know how much those machines cost?
It's costly.
I think it was 2 or 3, something like that.
But is the tailoring shop still operational? Do you guys go to monitor this?
Yeah, because that's why I said, because looking at our mandate,
not outside.
It's not after, even if it's after, but it's limited. So with that it was, and even what happens is because we are partners with a prison fellowship. Yeah, our officers went there and then they seen the project that was ongoing to make sure that he's done something and worthwhile, and it went on. But however, you also see at some point there are shortcomings. Maybe probably that individual, why choose otherwise. But that alone is a key component. Here we are looking. This is where partnership is needed, because if somebody is trained, at the end of the day, and he has nothing in order to to improve on what he has, either a grant, the training becomes otherwise.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you very much. I'm told this is all we have, for coming. I think it's a very significant training.
Yes.
Inmates, sometimes they need to pass through certain trainings to be able to be reintegrated to society. And, it will make them very responsible. If you are busy doing your job, you won't have time for crime.
Yes, I just want just a little.
Quickly, yes.
With the sustainability, because what happened, we also partner with GIZ. So GIZ with that entrepreneurship training that we are. So those that are now already gone to train, so they have before their names, they come because that was this partner, so that they have that entrepreneurial skills, and then they move along with their life.
I'm glad those.
Thank you very much. Time is already against us. Well, viewers, that was the public relation of the Gambia Prison Service, Luke Jatta. On the graduation of 70 inmates and prison officers. So we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll look at, we'll talk to the youth, the LACON.
Yes.
LACON youth organization. And they'll be on the platform. We'll talk about the local conference of youth on climate change, which is very significant. So we'll be right back.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow. Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espace Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience. Banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Aji Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Aji Bank, your investment partner. You asked for it, and QCell is giving it to you with our new and improved Sunyu Bundle Mega Promo. Now you can get more data at cheaper prices. Buy any of our bundle packages and enjoy massive discounts. Dial *303# and enjoy browsing on the network with the biggest coverage. Buy a 20 megabytes data bundle for as low as $7 and 50 bottles today, or purchase bigger bundles up to 20 gigabytes. Yes, that's right, 20 gigabytes of data at your fingertips. With our mega promo bundles, you can browse more, chat longer, and stay connected on the go, anytime, anywhere. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Q Money is back again with an offer of a lifetime. You can now buy Sunyu Bundle data packages directly from your Q Money wallet. We are back, and this is QTV this morning. Now to the last segment of the program. Lena, let's take a look at the local conference of youth on climate change, organized by El Koi. We have Dauda Cham and Hadijatu Sisay. Gentlemen and lady, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you.
Have you taken your breakfast? Because I'm about to take you to a very far right.
Well, I've not taken breakfast yet. But
yes. So on the program here, I mean, we are in for the ladies first, women empowerment.
Don't show up.
Yes, women empowerment. So we'll start with Hadija too. Please take us, through this organization background, ELCOI.
Good morning, everyone. The local conference of youth was the first edition of the local conference of youth has been started last year, 22nd October. So basically the main objective of this local conference of youth is the knowledge sharing and bringing all youths together in different backgrounds, persons with disability, and also bringing vulnerable people and their voices on the platform. So basically this year also we did the second edition of the local conference of youth, hosted by the Gambia Environmental Alliance. So the Environmental Alliance also, with the collaboration with government stakeholders, NGOs and other CSOs also were part of this program to make sure that all young voices have been heard. And also like the demand for this program is also about the local conference of youth, which is talking about the COI, Conference of Youth, that happens every year before the Conference of Party, bringing all youths together and bringing their voice in the climate spaces for sustainable development and for the future for all.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, I mean, Lena, at this point, let's engage Dauda.
Yeah, so Dauda is the main guy. Dauda, tell us about the ELCOI.
Yeah, so I think Hadija has almost said it all. So the ELCOI, which is a local conference of youth, is an initiative of YONGO. This is the official children and youth constituency to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. And the idea is to ensure that youth perspectives and youth ideas on policy matters related to climate change are really mainstreamed in the international climate policy making process. Because for far too long, young people have really been left behind when it comes to policy making, not only in the climate space, but even in other facets of life. So YONGO, being that constituency that actually mobilizes young people, introduced an initiative like this. It's a national version of the Conference of Parties, like Hadija mentioned, and that is going to be held in Dubai from the 30th of November to the 12th of December. Yeah, so we first held it here because the idea is I've been part of YONGO for almost 4 years now, and I've seen how young people in other parts of the world are actually taking up leadership roles to have an ELCOI in their countries. But Gambia being a country that has been named as one of the 100 most affected or threatened countries by climate change, and in fact one of the 10th countries when it comes to sea level rise, we've seen that there is an absence of forums like this where young people really come together to talk about issues related to climate change and the ways forward. Even though we have a lot of organizations that are really working, well, my organizations and other organizations that are leading climate action initiatives in the country. But a forum like this has not been in existence, and that is why I thought it wise to bring it into the country. When it first came last year, it was hosted by my organization, and this year I actually thought it was important that GA leads it, because GA is the umbrella body of all environmental organizations in the country. It has membership of 50 organizations, over 50 I think, and it was important that GA takes the lead so that we can all work together and ensure that we have a very successful conference.
True. Let's talk about the issue of climate change. You know, we've seen a lot of organizations advocating for climate change. We've seen the COP26, 27, and now we're going to Dubai for 28. Does it make any difference? I mean, if there is no political will, I mean, most of these conferences, we just sit and talk about climate change, but the implementation is a problem. What is the problem?
Yeah, so this is something that we all keep asking ourselves, the activists. These are the questions that we keep asking our leaders, and the whole situation is really complex because if you look at it, when you talk about the global emissions, let's say Gambia is like contributing, let's say, 0.01% to the global emission, and Africa as a whole is contributing less than 4%. So 80 to 85% is really being contributed by those advanced countries. And now they depend a lot on those fossil fuels that they burn, because that is what they are introduced, are owned by, and all of that. So if you want to really make a safe transition from that to renewable energy sources and other sustainable solutions is really difficult. And you know, that complexity and then push and pull, sometimes you go to COPs, people make promises. For instance, during COP26, the promise of $100 billion for developing countries, and also at COP27, these were things that were said, $100 billion yearly to be pumped into developing world so that we can really help ourselves in terms of our resilience building. But this commitment is really not being fulfilled, especially by the countries who made the commitment. So like you said, the political will is a problem, and those that are even anti-climate change issues are even saying we organize these forums just to go and then have fun, travel, and then come back, and then nothing happens. We all understand. But the fact of the matter is climate change is real because the statistics are there. We've all been living these things. The fact that climate change is real is what should really be driving us, and then we need to be really serious about some of these things that we say, the agreements that we make and the commitments that we make, because if not, in the nearest future, we would not be able to live in this world, because it would be very difficult for us.
Yes.
Well, Khadijatu, with all of the lapses Dauda has mentioned, do you think progress it can be attained? The goals you guys have in place, do you think it is achievable?
These goals, I will say, not everything is achievable. That is why bringing spaces like this is really important for us. So that is why people like Dauda, with the thought of bringing this youth conference of youth in the Gambia is mostly important, because basically when it comes to this COI, as you mentioned earlier, politically, like, these things have not been successfully achieved. Because like the scenarios of Gambia is a low-lying level, and also the economy is agrarian. So looking at that aspect, you have seen that in the rural Gambia, most of our fresh waters have already been intruded by salt water. So looking at the North Bank area, and also tree growing, we have been also focusing on tree growing, but how monitoring and evaluation have not been has always been a problem. If you go back to these rural areas for monitoring, you realize that it's like everything has been a dieback, even with the mangroves and other stuff. So, and the most vulnerable people are the women and children. Last year, 2022, we have the scenario of the flash flood in Banjul and other communities around the Gambia. You've realized that most affected were women and children, and climate migration, it forced people to leave their homes. It forced people, and the government alone cannot do everything. We've realized that even those people, not many people were even given homes or another alternative to bring all those people back for their safety or early responsive mechanism. So all those things are lagging. So when we have the youth development agenda, youths can only be there in the crucial space or make advocacy or actions, but we cannot make decisions. That is why it's always important. Anytime that we are doing this kind of things, we always try to involve stakeholders, and most especially the government. Because at COPs, usually youths are there, we involve in most of the side events and panelists, but when it comes to the negotiation, it's only the government that can do the negotiation. So it's really important, if we have the national youth statement, that's always incorporated in the global youth statement, but has to be presented to the COP presidency. And that can only be done when you develop your national youth statement and present to your government. We can just say, we will not use this local conference of youth, or we will not even hear the voices of the youth. At the end of the day, if those people, the government went to if they go to the COPs, what are we going to say? We do not hear anything from the youth, or their demands have not been heard. So for instance, next minute, if we stand and say, we want this demand, but do we even actually go to the government or any stakeholder to put these demands together? So at least today, we will say, the demands have been put place. This is our recommendation from last year. So if it hasn't been done, then we will say this is not done. But at least we have tried effort.
Time is already against us, and you know, I mean, interesting conversations here. We would have loved to get more time. Yes, but I mean, unfortunately, we will do this another time again. Dauda will be in touch. Yes. So viewers, this is all we have. Lena, thank you for being on the platform. Yes, we will be back here on Monday, inshallah. Our weekend starts today. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.